Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward.
What's up guys, Altcoin Sharper here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert, do your own research. Okay, so we are seeing a dump on Bitcoin overall. And yeah, things are looking bleak overall. So let's just go to BTC USD on the 1 day. I drew this chart out this morning, and this is just to highlight some of the recent kind of bear market rallies or lack thereof the last several months of for this year in 2022. So what do we see? We obviously saw like the top around 70K late last year. And then we see these periods of consolidations followed by either a bear market rally like we saw in April and March, or we just see consolidation followed by further downside. So generally speaking, we're seeing some sort of like consolidation, dump, maybe some sort of consolidation / rally, dump, or just like consolidation and then dump. So this is kind of like the overall price action that we've seen in the last several months. And you can see these floors getting set that happen over a multi-week time period where, you know, this is December 2021 and price consolidated around 50K or so for a little while, mega nuked down to 30, had a bear market rally. So went from, you know, all from February to March, you know, went from like 35 or so to almost 50, and then it dumped further. The last consolidation that we had was all throughout May, and it consolidated here for several weeks before having this strong leg down from 30 all the way down to sub 20. Now, where are we at right now? We are in this consolidation period where we've seen this slow grind up, where price is slowly grinding up with higher lows and higher highs, but they're not really convincing higher highs by any means. They're just really, you know, as I said, the slow grinding price action that isn't super convincing in a lot of ways. It's not definitely not convincing enough to call this like a bullish trend by any means, even if there are higher highs on a technical sense. And you really have to ask yourself, is this going to be similar to this March-April time period where price had the strength to go from, you know, 35 to 50, and it hit the last kind of floor area, which was set around 45, as you can see right here? Or and that's been kind of my thesis overall for this last few weeks, is I thought that price would slowly grind up to 28K. I felt pretty strongly about it. Like I still felt that, like, you know, price is going to go up to 28K, maybe not even quite that high, but close to it, and then potentially new lows. And there were several reasons for that. Volume profile was one big reason, meaning that you can still see there's a gap in volume profile, meaning that price usually likes to fill this overall gap with trading activity. And you'll see this gap from anywhere from 24K to about 30K, where there isn't much trading activity throughout this area, and typically speaking, price likes to grind through that. So that's one thing that I really, that's one idea that I had for price going up to 28K, was that price would have this kind of bearish retest, grind up, and then potentially new lows. I didn't know what was going to happen after that, but I still felt pretty strongly that 28K was going to come. Now, could 28K still come? Certainly possible. But it's really important to note that the overall market structure on the 4-hour is broken, in my opinion, because what we're seeing in this past was just higher lows across the board, where you see higher lows being set. And in my opinion, this 22K area was really an important area that price did not lose that level, but like it's still, as you can see, like they had these higher lows that got set, and all these EMAs are actually turning bullish for the first time since March as well. But price completely lost all those EMAs, and in my opinion, the only way that we can see some further upside in the short term is if price has trading activity similar to what we saw back in late July, which was right here, where price traded underneath all these EMAs, you know, had this kind of this slow grind down, and then it formed a higher low, and then continued up. But as I said, the market structure is already kind of messed up in the sense that these lows already got taken out. So I don't think you can call this obviously is not a higher low. So at this point, given the violence of this drop, like, it definitely looks pretty ugly. And I do expect a lot of volatility overall, and like especially in the lower time frames. Like if you scroll down to like the 1 hour, or like the even lower 30 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, you're going to see a lot of violence in terms of crazy volatile wicks in both directions. This is usually pretty common after you see a big dump like this, where you'll start to see some crazy wicks and volatility in both directions. Don't quite know, as I said, if this is going to be a overall bottom. But nonetheless, the market structure on the 4 hour does look pretty fucked because, as I said, these lows all just got taken out, and I don't really think that you can call these this next low a higher low because these past lows were probably the last significant lows. Now you can maybe go to if you want to build the bull case, it's pretty damn hard in my opinion to do so. Because the overall high time frame market structure is still very bearish. Like if you scroll down to the 1 day, this is still bearish overall, or even 3 day or weekly, this is still doesn't look good. It's still lower highs, lower lows overall. So I guess one case for bulls might be is that if this kind of SR level around 21.4K or so gets maintained, you can see this level is strong resistance on this way up, where price could not break above it for weeks. We saw this break above, saw this deviation, and then a reclaim of it. And now theoretically this should be support right now. But again, I don't really know if you can call this really a higher low on lower time frames at all. And to me, it's just overall choppy price action. It's not really very clear to me where price is headed in the short or midterm at this point. As I said, not really super clear to me overall. All scenarios, in my opinion, are on the table at this point. I do think we're going to see a temporary bounce. So right now, this could be a decent buy spot as a scalp, but I don't necessarily think that this is a must buy the dip situation at all. Nowhere close to that. If you are a bull, you'll want to see price kind of just chop around here for maybe a few days or a week, and maybe this forms some sort of convincing low, and then price just resumes up to 28K. That's certainly a possibility. But as I said, all scenarios in my opinion are just on the table right now. Maybe we just see price consolidate here, and then it's potentially another leg down to 20K, that's, or 19K or whatever, that's another certain possibility as well. So there's really so many different possibilities at this point that I don't really think that you can be super convinced in either direction. It's best just to play positions fairly quickly, in my opinion, right now. And that's actually one issue that I recently had, is I got way too greedy with Shiba trade that I had. I was up 20%, took only a third off, and then let the rest run all the way back to entry pretty much. So definitely cost myself money, but it is a good reminder that greed, just don't be greedy in these conditions, just get in and out, etc., etc. As I said, it's really uncertain to me if this is just another kind of consolidation before new lows. I long suspected, and if you look at my old videos too before, I still am very confident that we are going to see 17K or so get tested again. I just don't know how it's going to come. To me, before, I was of the opinion that we were going to grind up to 28K, and then we're going to start having these shitty slow bounces, and then maybe test 17 to 16K possibly. I was fairly confident that we are going to hit 17K, and the reason is just that for a bottom structure to form, I just think that it's unlikely that we were just going to almost kind of hit this consolidation and then just go up. Typically speaking, consolidation, accumulation, takes a really long time, and you get multiple opportunities to buy the bottom, generally speaking. unless it's like the COVID V-shaped bottom where price just V-shaped up and then just like rallied up. Whereas generally speaking, when you're talking about bottom patterns, you either see like these long accumulation patterns where price just chops around for many months, or you hit something like a double bottom, like price comes up, has like a shitty weak rally, and then comes back down again. These two ideas were some of the basis reasons why I thought that 17K or 18K were certainly going to get tested again. Was we're going to see something like that. But for me personally, I did, and I still believe. I thought that 28K was going to get tested, but that idea is certainly getting. It's very questionable right now. Like it's not something that I'm like married to in any way, shape, or form. So hopefully, you guys enjoy this video. Not really quite sure where price is headed. I do think that this is going to be a temporary bounce area, but after that, I honestly have no idea. So good luck and have a good weekend.